Good day everyone, my report is all about the Theorem 40. In Theorem 40, if two central angles are equal, their arcs are equal. As you can see in the given picture or graph, the given that we have two circles labeled O and P, and that angle 1 is equal to angle 2. So the circle O and P tell us that we are dealing with two distinct circles identified by their circle point O and P. Now, we need to prove that arc AB is equals to CD. Our angle 1 is composed of arc AB and our angle 2 is composed of arc CD. To analyze the proof, we have to use the fact that the measure of an arc equals the measure of its central angle. Then use the transitive property of equality. So ano nga ba yung the use of transitive property of equality? So the transitive property of equality states that if A is equals to B and B is equals to C, then A is equals to C. If two things are equal to the third thing, then they are equal to each other. For example is if x is equals to 5 and 5 is equals to y, then x is equals to y. This property nga pala is allow you to transfer equality between different variables or expression. So magagamit natin or gagamitin natin itong transitive property of equality sa pag-prove ngayon ng the arc of AB is equals to arc of CD. Now we proceed to the proof of AB is equals to. Now this is the proof of arc AB equals to arc CD. Our given, which is the angle of 1 is equals to angle of 2. Number 2, the measurement of angle 1 is equals to the measurement of AB. The reason of this is a measure of an arc equal the measure of its central angle. Itong number 3 is same lang din doon sa number 2, which is na yung measure ng angle 2 is equals to the measure of arc CD. Yung kanina sa number 2 is a measure ng angle 1 is equals to the arc of AB. So ngayon, gagamitin na natin yung transitive property of equality yung i-discuss ko kanina. So sa transitive property of equality, gamitin natin yung statement 1, 2, and 3. Since the measure of angle 1 is equals to the measure of arc AB and the measure of angle 2 is equals to the measure of arc CD, and we know that the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 2, we can conclude that the measure of arc AB is equal to the measure of arc CD. And the statement number 4, the transitive property of equality. So now let's proceed to the number 5 statement, which is if the measure of arc are equal, then the arc are equal, or the definition of congruent. Finally, we use the definition of congruence arc to state that since the measure of arc AB and arc CD are equal, the arc themselves are congruent. So this complete the proof of our Theorem 40. So remember that in Theorem 40, if two central angles are equal, their arcs are equal. Now let's proceed to another example. Equal size of a circular cake are given as circular cake. The cake is cut into 6 slices. Each slice forms a central angle at the center of a cake. Let central angle 1 be the angle formed by the first slice, and let central angle 2 be the angle formed by the second slice. We need to prove that the arc WX cross of the first slice is equal or congruent to the arc of YX cross of the second slice. So this is our circular cake, the cake that cut into 6 slices. So as you can see, ang angle 1 natin or ang ating first slice is composed of arc y, and x. And ang second slice natin is composed of arc y and z. Now, let's move forward and prove that the arc of wx is equals to arc of yz. First is the measure of angle 1 is equal or congruent to the angle 2. Since the cake is cut into equal size, the central angle formed by the edge of each slice are also equal. Second one is the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 2. We use the definition of congruent angle to state that the measure of this angle are equal. Number 3 is the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of arc wx. In our fourth statement, we apply the arc measurement theorem again to equate the measure of angle 2 and arc yz. Now, let's move forward to our statement number 5, where we use the transitive property of equality to combine the equalities from statement 2, 3, and 4. Since the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of arc wx, and a measure of angle 2 is equal to a measure of arc yz, and we know that the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 2. Now, we can conclude that the measure of arc wx is equals to the measure of arc yz. And statement number 6, definition of congruent arcs. Finally, Statement number 6, finally, we use the definition of congruence arc for us to state that since the measure of arc wx and arc y and z are equal, the arc themselves are congruent. So, yun yung Theorem 40, which is gi-apply sa scenario of equally sized cake slice. Another example of Theorem 40 is clock face in detail. So, as a scenario, consider a standard analog clock face. So, by Theorem 40, since the central angle are equal, the corresponding arcs are also equal. This means that the minute's hand travel the same when moving from 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and so on. The angle between any two consecutive hours marked is 360 degrees. So this line forms 12 equal size pie slice. So each slice represents 30 degree central angle and an equal arc length on the circumference of the clock. That's why this clock also represent the Theorem 40. Try to make your own proof and indicate the statement and reason for this clock if you want. So, pwede kayo magpili doon sa 12. Their two central angle are equal. So, that means their arcs are also equal. And 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Kung sa ano yung magiging angle 1 nyo or magiging angle 2 nyo. So, that's all. Thank you. Have a nice day.